Hi guys, please excuse my voice. I've had a stinking cold all week and I've lost my voice for a couple of days, but it's come back a little bit, so just enough to do a bit of talking. We're here at the lake again, the Syndicate pool. It's a Friday afternoon once more. As you can see, beautiful sunny day. It's mid-20s. There's a bit of a breeze blowing, but it's a southerly, so it's lovely and warm. And after what happened last week, I thought it's probably a good idea to bring some floater gear, bearing in mind the weather, and as I say, last week. So bought some dog biscuits and some proper floater gear this week, and gonna go and get some dog biscuits in and see if we can get them taken off the top. Well guys, I've just done a quick tour of the lake, but unsurprisingly a lot of the carp are in the shallows here in this lovely warm weather, as you'd expect. I don't know if you can see over my shoulder, I've got some dog biscuits in, and they're starting to have them already. So what I'm going to do is just walk back to the car, grab the floater rod, and see if we can get one out. Right, let's have a cast and see if we can get one out. Well, that's great. While he's resting up in the net, I'm going to get a few more of these dog mixers in and keep the others on the boil. Well, it's given me an absolute beating. It's almost a leather, this one. Very few scales. Come on, come on. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful fella in the sunlight. That's fantastic. Right, I'm not going to keep him out for long in this weather. Let's get him straight back in the water. Well, as you can probably see behind me, we just got that fish returned and they're back already, so let's get another bait in the water. So close to having a ghost. Another one sucked it out of his mouth. That's great, number 2. Beautiful scaly fella. Right, let's get him back. Let's have another one. Well guys, the carp have disappeared at the moment, so I'll show you my setup. I'm no expert at floater fishing at all, but I have got a controller float here. Happens to be an ESP controller float. I have this purely because my daughter Anastasia was runner-up in the Tight Lines junior angler competition one week, and we got sent a pack of stacks of carp gear because she'd entered with a carp, hence the hat and all the rest of the gear, because she was only 10 at the time, but they sent all loads of gear that fitted me, so that was fantastic. So hence an ESP controller. All I've done is lock that on the line with a couple of float stops even. And then coming down here to the hook, I have a size, I don't know if you can see that, get it in the sun, it's about a size 10. And what I've done, I've been having trouble with the dog biscuits. What I'm finding is they're not that buoyant, so a lot of them, when I'm putting them in a band on the hook, it's slowly sinking, and the fish not having that at all. They're not that daft. So what I've done is I've moved over to, as you probably saw then, to put in half a pop-up on, and what I'm doing is just, as I said, cutting a pop-up in half and banding that on, as you can see there, and sort of sitting the hook on the flat side, and that seems to be working really well. It's getting around their suspicions, no problem at all. Anyway, there's a few back in, I can hear some sucking going on, so I'm going to get this in the water. Well guys, they seem to be getting a bit wise to me down this end. When I arrived and had a walk round, I noticed there were a load of carp up the other end as well, so I'm going to have a walk up there, take you with me obviously, and we'll see if we can sneak a few out from up there. Well guys, we're now down the other end. The wind's blowing across this way and blowing into this bank, which is why this raft's collected here. All the dog biscuits I've thrown in are all blowing up against that side. And I'm not sure if it'll come out on the camera, but there's a stack of carp up there, and they're starting to take a few. So I'm going to stick this in and see how we get on. It didn't take long to do. And in that time, believe it or not, two other fish had it in and out of their mouths. Unbelievable. Great. Well, this one's very dark and lean. Fantastic looking fish. Huge, great mouth on him. Well, I can hear over my shoulder they're still having it over there, so I'm going to get another bait back in. What I'm doing over here, guys, I'm struggling to see those darker pop-ups in here where there's a ripple. So I've got some, they're actually S-core, Ridgeworth S-core pop-ups, pink, as you can see, like a washed out pink colour. What I'm doing is just nibbling around the middle, so it's ending up like an apple core, putting the band around there. I can see this much easier in this end, so that's what just took that fish, and I'm going to get this one back on. We're in again. We get under a tree. Well, there's definitely some ornamental in this one. Oh, such a beautiful orange belly. Really deep orange colour. And believe it or not, they're still having it, so let's see if we can get another one out. Oh, a tiny little one grabbed it. Well, there he is, a little mirror. Let's get him straight back. Well, he was sucking at that bait, wasn't he, for what seemed like an age. I was itching to strike. Finally sucked it in. It's a nice common. Well, there he is. really yampy this week. All the fish on the bank have been really yampy this week. Right, let's get him back. Well guys, the carp here have got a little bit wary. I mean, I know I had that one quickly, but they kind of disappeared. They're not really taking the bait. I think that was a bit of a fluke, to be honest. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a wander around over here. There we are guys, another lean fish, linear this time, fantastic condition. Well guys, there's one or two really nice ghosties cruising around, so just before we go home I'm going to really try and target one of those, see what we can do. Well guys, as you can see, we're back where we started. The ghosties are eluding me up there. They've all pushed out towards the island. The wind's picked up, it's blown right into my face. All the float is just drifting in. It's become pretty much impossible. So I've come down to this bay, as I say, where we started. There's a few carp cruising around here. We might be able to get one out just before we go home. Let's get a bait in the water. Yes, we did it. Well, we got one in the end, guys. I think I pulled that pop up out of 3 or 4 carp's mouths to get this fella, but we did it in the end. That's fantastic. Well, I'm going to call it a day at that. I'm absolutely shattered. This stinking cold's taken out of me this week, and I think it's time to go home and have a bit of rest. Thanks again for watching. Good luck with your own fishing. Tight lines. Have a great bank holiday weekend, and I'll see you again next time.